Disclaimer, the comments made in this video are intended for entertainment purposes only and are not intended to offend anyone. Liberals don't realize that they aren't liberated from reality. Hello and welcome to another video. Today, woke liberals are taken care of. Don't forget to hit that like button.
Student loans. We built up $75,000 of student loan debt. Say the degree one more time.
I study Shakespeare.
Okay, Shakespeare. Lovely guy. What are you going to do with that?
Well, that's such a complicated question.
Oh, no. I was really hoping for a more, you knew what you were going to do with this much school and student loans.
This is where you just have to say, we come from different worlds. You're not going to understand this.
What do you mean?
You won't understand like the precarity and why it's really all right.
What do you mean though?
Like your reaction there was like, oh,
I studied music composition in college. I was in the College of Arts School of Music. I asked the job and you didn't know what to say.
So I have a lot of experience working at writing centers. So I could be that, there's availability for those kinds of jobs. I also, something I really enjoy is like working with people who are like applying to college. I've like played around with the idea of like opening a business, doing that, something like that. I have a lot of experience and a lot of success, like helping people with resumes and getting jobs. So I could do stuff like that. Like I could be a professor.
So we at least have a path of where
and I have lots of backup paths too. And I'm like very good at what I do. So I will have a job.
Yeah.
Like that's not a concern at all.
How long is this PhD?
6 years. It's pretty standard.
Guess we do come from a little different worlds because music composition is like 2 to 3 years.
So he has 75,000 students loan, but has money to transition. We all see that's a dude.
You idiots do realize that Trump can't just go bippity boppity boop and change gas prices. He can't go bippity boppity boop and change grocery prices. Your life is going to get worse, not better. Thank you, stupid people!
Chat, is this a real life hussy fit? Yeah, he can't go beepity boopity boop and change gas prices, but Kamala couldn't even work to change them in 4 years. I think there's a difference, my dear.
Okay, so the funniest thing's happening on the internet right now because everybody on the left is leaving Twitter because it's so terrible and there's all those terrible right-wingers there. But here's the thing, without the people on the left to harass and be mean to and cruel and horrible to, right-wingers are getting upset with Twitter because it's not fun for them anymore. They're all going to BlueSky, where all the people on the left are going. But the thing is, BlueSky has like these really good block lists, and the mechanism on BlueSky for blocking is like really well. So these right-wingers show up, the first post they make is like, time to go harass these leftists, ha ha ha. And then after that, they start crying about how, everybody's blocking me, because the only thing they get out of social media is harassing people. That's all they want. That's all they want to get from a social media platform. So they're really angry when they can't get it. And I just think that is deeply funny. Misery really does love company.
I almost forgot to mention, every liberal leaving X is going to something called BlueSky. There have been screenshots of P-words introducing themselves as minor attracted persons and connecting with fellow sickos. I really doubt anyone is downloading a new app just to watch perverts be perverts. We still see BlueSky screenshots on X. I think we're good.
I say we pass a law that requires anyone who voted for that orange piece of to wear their Trump hat 24/7. Because conservatives are dangerous for anyone who isn't white, Christian, or male. Completely dangerous. Like dynamite waiting to go off in your hand. So I think we should all get a public service warning. Don't you?
So, a law that makes them wear the hats they already wear. That's too much. You don't need a public service warning. If you talk to them and they sound even remotely intelligent and grounded in reality, they're conservative.
So it turns out Elon Musk's presence at Mar-a-Lago is starting to get on everybody's nerves. Insiders with the Trump campaign say that he's everywhere. He's in the gift shop. He's in photographs with his grandchildren. He's at every single meal, and he's next to everywhere he goes. Insiders are saying that he can't seem to keep an opinion to himself. Every time a topic comes up, he's got to voice his opinions and his concern on everything. And he calls himself, get this, the first buddy. Yeah, and the insiders that were interviewed for this article say that he's acting like he's the second in command. So here's my prediction. Elon is going to pull some harebrained stunt, make some crazy decision without Stain's approval, and he's going to end up ousting him, which is going to cause Elon to try to turn all of Twitter against him. Axios did a focus group study with 14 swing state voters. These are people who voted for Biden once and then Trump. All of them are a lot concerned about Shane's rhetoric of jailing political opposition. They're all very concerned that they named RFK as the head of Health and Human Services because they all think he's just in general insane. He's nuts, which obviously we've been telling you that for ever. Anyways, now the farmers are very concerned because RFK is going around talking about getting rid of pesticides. He's been vocal about the type of seeds they're using, which I think you guys know what I mean. So farmers are concerned they're going to have to make some hefty and expensive changes. I say you should also be concerned that your entire workforce is about to get deported. You guys have shot yourselves in the foot, and I'm just going to keep looking for these stories because I want all of you to hear them. I want you all to hear how worried they all are about what they've done.
And her source is, trust me, bro. He's at meals? Maybe Beach is a guest. What do you mean Elon will try to oust Trump? These idiots are acting like JD Vance was not even on the ballot. Not everyone plans to be as useless as Kamala, you guys.
I'm actually an instructor in history. My main area is World War I and World War II. And I really hate it when I'm teaching those classes and then we have a political discussion and students immediately go to the fascistic kind of like Hitler comparison. But that's my question that I have. At what point, if you see the development of what's happening currently right now to Trump's rise to power?
Do you also correlate President Trump's rise to second power to Winston Churchill's? But they have way more in common than the Weimar Germany one. And you're a historian professor, you know that, right?
Oh.
Well, think about it. Donald Trump was put in exile, so was Churchill after the Darnells. You know about the Darnells because you're a professor, right?
I would rather focus primarily on the
If you're a World War I professor and you don't know about the Darnells, okay, this is what you're paying for, everybody.
I can give you some comparisons that I would necessarily see. I mean, if you look at, you have a populist movement, right? You have someone who is has a cult of personality, a very effective rhetoric. If you look at the assassination attempts that were on Hitler and on Trump, if you look at even the iconography that you have within the MAGA hats, you have a white lettering on a red background. If you even go even further.
Oh, I got another one you forgot. Yeah. Did you know that Hitler had a dog?
Okay. No. So the very nature of history is seeing a level of comparison of analysis. Once again,
this is how education is dispensed, people. Red letters and white background. Groundbreaking stuff.
Should we just normalize teen parenting at this point because it's a normal thing? We are girls, we're human. That's what we made for. Not really made for, but like, you know what I'm trying to say.
No, we cannot normalize teen pregnancy. Absolutely not. There is way more things to do with your life as a teenager than getting pregnant. As a teenager, you should be able to go and hang out with your friends, do things with your family, go to college, start your own business, do things that are going to make you happy. But getting pregnant, I just feel like it's something that doesn't make a lot of teenagers happy, but they just get pregnant because either one, it was something that happened through the process of them being intimate with somebody else, very well-informed education. And trust and believe, you do not want to get pregnant at a young age. It is not going to be fun, and you're going to lose out on your youth years. I understand that these are young people who should have control over their autonomy, but I really need you guys to understand the decision that you're making will affect the rest of your life, okay? I just think that you could slow down, enjoy your youth years, and then when you're done with school, you got your life together, and you get with a good partner, and you're maybe in your late 20s or early 30s, then you could think about getting pregnant. But getting pregnant at like 17, 18, 15, that's crazy. That's crazy.
She can't even speak properly, but she wants to be a normalized teenage mother. Please stay in school.
Sure. I mean, you could take the Jonestown death cult, which there was a charismatic leader that constantly lied people, and they took them out of everyday normal life and leads them towards ostracization and cutting off of family ties. Am I getting closer to describing the Democrat Party?
According to the... No.
I can't believe she didn't see the trap. It was right there.
I was hate crime 5 times in one night, okay? 3 of them By Trump supporters.
What happened to you?
I was walking, and then I see this truck full of 4 white men pass by me, MAGA apparel and everything, you know. They drove past me, and they were like...
They said the N-word on campus. Okay, so what happened to them when you reported them?
I didn't report them.
Threatening to rape you is an intent of a crime. Did you go to the police? You file a police report? You hire an attorney? You sue the school? Did you go to the civil rights office? Do you file a civil rights complaint? Did you do any of that? Because you should. Okay. No, did you? Tell me. Yes or no?
I did not. But
why?
I'm not going to argue with you.
No, but you're coming in front of 2,000 people to say it. Why did you not go to the university and say this happened?
Next instance, they threatened to rape me and then just drove off.
Hold on. So a bunch of Trump guys who are largely white heterosexual males then also threatened to rape you?
Different group of people, but yes.
I'm going to show you the university official, and why don't you go file a Department of Education complaint, and let's find these terrible people that did this to you. Can we agree?
Okay.
Okay.
I'll think about
and by the way, we'll be able to look at security camera footage, and we'll see.
Okay, I'll think about that.
But you didn't do that.
Can I try to finish?
You'll think about it. Hold on. Why wouldn't you want to do that immediately? No, honestly, I think you're Jussie Smollett at this campus. I think you're completely making this whole thing up. I think you are a complete liar because I am now giving you an opportunity to report this at the high. I will bring this to Linda McMahon, the head of the Department of Education, the federal government. I will make sure these people are arrested by Kash Patel, the head of the FBI. And you'll say, oh, I'll think about it. Because you're making this up. You're doing this for a political purpose. So will you, no, seriously, Kash Patel will get involved, yes? It's a hate crime. That's not acceptable. Will you do this or not?
That's really cute, Charlie, but I'm trying to give you the opportunity to alleviate hate within this group of people who have a shared ideology.
But hold on a second. There's no hate. There's just love of America here in this audience. That's all that's here today, okay? That's all that's here.
There is no way that happened, and we didn't see a single TikTok video about it. Really? You know, liberals live to make complaints, especially against straight white homophobic men. Mix Jussie Smollett and Jaden Smith and you get this kid.
I will never not be impressed by how unintelligent and out of touch with reality the women of The View are.
When you come in and you say, oh, you know, these are men, you know, competing against women, you're assuming that the women are weak and just can't do anything yourself. But here, have you seen female athletes? They know what they're doing. So I'm not sure what's going on or why this is an issue.
The level of commitment to idiocy is actually remarkable. Let me help you here, Whoopi. This issue matters because women matter. Because reality matters. These are the same people who at one point screamed and screeched, follow the science. Doesn't seem like Whoopi Goldberg is following the science now. Also, literally no one thinks that men shouldn't be playing in women's sports because women are weak. It is not misogynistic to point out that mediocre men can beat exceptional women. The inverse of that is not true. The U.S. women's national soccer team, for example. And if that wasn't enough, watch Whoopi Goldberg blaspheme the Lord.
God doesn't make mistakes.
No.
And the challenge is not to the trans people, it's to the people who are not trans. That's what God is looking to see, how you treat people.
Yeah.
That's...
I feel like this goes without saying, but God does not pick and choose who he will judge on Judgment Day. Although Whoopi did get one thing right. God does not make mistakes. Therefore, he does not put people in the wrong body.
Whoopi is such a tiring character, honestly. God doesn't make mistakes, but people think they've been put in the wrong body and you believe them?
I'm an American citizen, and I support the Ukraine. What President Trump and his sidekick, J.D. Vance, the vice president, did this week was shocking and shameful. President Zelensky, many of us here who are average citizens in the United States, we support you. We know that Russia is really at fault here and that our Oompa Loompa is in his pocket. And for that, I know I am very sorry. And I am sorry that you're still having to deal with this war. But we stand with you and with the Ukrainian people, despite what was said in the Oval Office. He does not speak for all of us.
Ma'am, I don't think you're in the position to call Trump an Oompa Loompa. Me personally, I'd rather be an Oompa Loompa than Violet.
I think you should focus on your neck being able to support your neck.
I'm a male, can I get pregnant?
If you were transgender, yeah.
How would that work? So for our viewers and for my edification, how would that work? So I'm a male, chromosomes, biological, etc. How could I get pregnant?
Well, if you're assigned female at birth, then you would still have like a woman's stuff. But then if you identified as a man...
No, as in, sorry, that's my fault, my wording.
Sorry.
No, so if I'm a biological man,
Yes.
and I don't have a uterus. As a man, can I get pregnant?
If you're assigned male, then no.
You
You
can't.
don't have those reproductive.
No original thought, no outstanding idea. Absolutely nothing goes on in that mind.
$1.5 million for voter confidence in Liberia. Biodiversity in Nepal, $19 million.
Again, those can be important. You have to, those could be helpful.
Okay, so how could biodiversity in Nepal for $19 million? We spent $20 million for a new Sesame Street in Iraq.
You have to both justify that these programs are bad. I think no, you can flash a sign. This is a program. It costs this much money. You can say that.
Do you know anything about Liberia? I happen to know a lot about it. But that's a separate issue.
It's not about what I know. It's about the people in the government making these decisions.
Yes, and they have proven themselves to be robber barons over the last 20 years. They're spending your money with reckless abandon and total indiscretion. You think the government is innocent until proven guilty. I think the government, after what we've learned, is guilty until proven innocent. They have to justify why this money is being spent in the first place.
Wait a minute. That's how the law works. Innocent until proven guilty. You have to prove that.
That's not how taxpayer money works, though. It's that if we find waste, you're going to have to over-justify why this exists in the first place. This is the first time in my lifetime we have an administration going after the waste, going after the size of government to balance the budget so that you guys don't live as indentured servants and Russian serfs for the rest of your life.
He probably doesn't even know what continent Liberia is in. Sounds like liberal, so it must be important, I guess.
I'm gonna say the uncomfortable part out loud. The Germans who supported Hitler in the beginning are these same Germans who turned in their neighbors. It is a matter of safety that you cut these people out of your life. It's not just morals. Speaking as someone who has loudly dissented all over the internet for the last 8 years, I'm not wasting a calorie questioning whether or not you're gonna turn me or my friends in. You're out.
Yes, finally, a nose-ringed crazy person. I almost thought they went into hibernation.
Well, it's been rough. It was not what I was expecting at all, considering some of the rhetoric he has said. I thought we as a nation were smarter, but I guess not. To my transgender and friends and, the people who it affects, as long as you stay alive, they cannot say we don't exist. Being a Satanist means rebelling against them because they're wrong. And as long as you draw a breath, every breath you take is a rebellion. Keep on fighting because you just have to. Hail Satan, hail reason always.
And here comes another one. That's a girl, right? And somehow we are supposed to listen to these people about what truly matters.
Oh, Trump, do you, pumpkin? I have a great idea. Show up to Thanksgiving with a shaved head and see what happens. You get extra points if you consider yourself a daughter of an American dad. Ooh, that would light his ass up, wouldn't it, babe? Because American dads have never really been given the room to adequately express themselves, it makes them real mad when you do for yourself. Even grumpier when you do things that are outside of what is acceptable to do with your appearance, like shaving your head. Other dad mad options would include getting a tattoo on your face or your neck or even your hands maybe. Ooh, or a facial piercing. That'll really set him off. I love doing like that so much. I even want to help you on your dad mad journey, cutie. If you're in my area between now and the 1st of the year and you would like to shave your head before you go home for the holidays, I'll do it for you for free. I think this is your sign to be unapologetically you this holiday season, pumpkin. Let me know if I can help.
I thought you people only did things for yourselves. I don't doubt your dad will be mad at you for shaving your head, getting a facial piercing, and or a face tattoo. But what happens after? You just look like an idiotic alien forever.
So in my other video, I was talking about this right here, 4 sentences, and someone commented, connect 4, which brings us back to this photo. I don't know what's going on, you guys, because that right there is a genius response if there, and I preface, if there is some sort of connecting the dots to be done. Leave a comment. Did we miss something on this photo? I don't know.
I'm not even going to attempt to break that down. These people are crazy, that's all.
How could you nominate someone with allegations of child trafficking trafficking across state lines and having the 17-year-old? My understanding further on in the interview, they discussed the fact that once he finds out that she's 17, he stops having with her.
You have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Boy, oh boy, do I dislike The View and all her unintelligent activists. So you spread rumors passionately, then add a legal note to avoid prosecution. Why promote slander in the first place?
Gay!
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Doge is cutting so many important programs for the American people. And if you are on this program, I am so sorry I was wrong about Trump. Here are the 10 programs evil Donald Trump is cutting. For starters, I'm not an expert, but National Bubble Wrap Stress Relief Program, $1.4 million a year. Bureau of Mailbox Feng Shui, $900,000 a year. Federal Balloon Animal Training Academy, $2.3 million a year annually to train clowns how to fold balloons. National Pretzel Twisting Initiative, $600,000 a year. Tells you how to untwist a pretzel. Then we got the Department of Sock Pairing, $1.8 million a year. The Federal High Five Coordination Bureau, $1.2 million a year, annually coordinating high fives between human beings. And number 7, National Ice Cream Structural Integrity Lab, actual ice cream cone. That was $700,000 a year to make sure that they're not leaking ice cream. The Office of Puddle Depth Measurement, $3 million a year annually measuring potholes that have water in them, even though they don't fix them. Number 9, Bureau of Alarm Clock Testing, making sure that your alarms are going, to wake you up. That's $1.5 million a year. And 10, Federal Glitter Cleanup Task Force, $2 million a year. But to top it off,
so Gaza gets condoms and America gets Planned Parenthood murders. Really? Who made these? Who signed off on them?
Can we please normalize intimacy without commitment?
No. A decade from now, she'll be weeping about a baby daddy that doesn't want to be in his child's life.
The Constitution on whitehouse.gov has been taken down.
That's a website, not the Constitution. It's just a website, not the actual Constitution. You do know that the Constitution doesn't live on a web page, right? That's just a 404 error. Are you okay?
Also, she was lying. It hadn't and still hadn't been taken down.
Wait a minute. You think it's a good idea to go to events where people are trying to get federal money and they're paying to see you?
They're not paying to see me.
I thought you just said you spoke at events where people paid.
Not to see me. I mean, I'm not that important.
You're the... Wow. You learn new things every day. You are... What's your title? You're the director of what?
Of the Loan Programs Office.
You're the director of the loan programs for the federal government Department of Energy. People who want to get loans from the government are paying to see you, and you think that that's fine? That's not a rhetorical question.
The woke liberal tunnel of corruption runs so deep.
This is anger and hatred of women right here. That's all this says to me.
How is this? Forgiveness for murder can be found in Jesus Christ alone. I tell the truth, abortion is murder. And then I say, you know what? Good news though. You can agree with God that this is murder, and you can lay it at the foot of his cross, and he will.
Never said it was murder, real. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere in the Bible was abortion stated.
If I thought, if I brought up the Bible a couple of times, and every time I do, you jump somewhere else. If I truly thought that you cared, do you care about what it says in the Bible?
It's okay. She'll probably become a kindergarten teacher one day. They love kids, guys.
If you voted for Trump, I hope your Thanksgiving dinner consists of undercooked turkey, gummy mashed potatoes, dry macaroni and cheese, and burnt pecan pie.
I'm pretty sure conservatives can cook. You can enjoy your lonely dinners, though, or ally dinners. You'd see the turkey vlogs later. Okay, who did this?
¿Qué pues, pinche
pinche gringo mamón! ¡Si tengo mi green card!
Thanks for your collaboration, and remember, don't come back again.
¡Y el gringo nos quiere cobrar el muro! ¡Dile que no, pinche gringo racista! Pues no te pagaremos nada. ¡Hablo! Somos gente honrada Pero no, ya.
If the Oscars was a fair academy, you would definitely be getting nominated.
Okay. I tried to listen to The Daily today. I tried to listen to Pod Save America. I tried really hard to listen to Ezra Klein. And I swear to God, if I have to hear one of these white men try to explain away the Democrats need more messaging and they're not appealing to the working class. No, babe, no. Here's the thing. First of all, leave New York. That'll help. It's three things. Bear with me here. The first is, if you go to any small rural town, you will know three things pretty quickly. They hate women. The women even hate women. I'm so beside myself. The women even hate women. The sleep her way to the top. Every woman I know said that. Not a man. The women said she slept her way to the top. They do not like women. The amount of times, gotten maybe uppity at a bar and been told I was being uppity, and then somebody looks over to my husband and says, "Are you gonna come get your girl? I'm some dog to be leashed," is innumerable, okay? They don't like women. The second thing that you will find out to be very true is that they don't like brown people. They think anyone who speaks Spanish is Mexican is gonna steal your job. Literally, where do you think that catchphrase, "they took her job," came from? That's a real thing. They really believe that they're gonna take your job. And they also believe that black people are gonna mug them. Literally, that's what they think. And the third, and probably the most important thing that I need all of these pundits out of New York and DC to realize, they are stupid. These people are dumb. In your own papers over the summer, I read multiple pieces and studies about the illiteracy rate in this country, about whole graduation class showing up to college unable to read. The literal common denominator for reading, the lowest common denominator for most publications is a third grader. My 9-year-old can read better than 25 million Americans. It is not complicated. The Democrats don't need to do anything different. In fact, one might argue that a lot of this context setting comes down to you guys. The amount of times leading up to the election that I heard, "Well, she's been in office for the last 4 years. Why hasn't she done anything?" Well, that's what the Trump supporters think. Without the follow-up from you saying, actually, the vice presidency is symbolic and she has no power. Reference Mike Pence. But y'all never did that. You never followed it up. You just kind of were like, this is what they think. And when you don't follow it up with correcting, it makes that idiocy seem like a fact. Now, I could just be a condescending liberal, a college-educated condescending liberal. That very much is true. Probably. But I guess what I'm saying is the movie Idiocracy is more like a documentary for some of us. I'm surrounded by idiots everywhere. And sometimes the simplest explanation is true. These people are racist, they're misogynist, and they're dumb.
I spy with my little eye your party losing more elections in the future because your everyday narcissistic and condescending speeches are repelling people from you. They didn't hate black people when Obama had 2 terms. Republicans are asking for Tulsi and Candace to take positions one day. I don't think they are the problem, it's you. Hi, you're the problem, it's you.
Good morning. I took yesterday to be angry and miserable, and I also took yesterday to make the decision to block my father, who will still end up seeing this. So, hi, Dad. And yes, I did block him because of who he voted for, because he knows that I am trans, and he knows that I have had 2 abortions, and he still voted for Project 2025, which to me is reprehensible. I have my husband who loves and supports me to the ends of the earth. I have my friends who love and support me to the ends of the earth, and I have other family members who love and support me to the ends of the earth, and I genuinely do not need anyone else. I realize this is something not everyone is able to do safely, and I'm very grateful for my ability to do that safely. I cut my mother off until the day she died. I can and will do that again.
Honestly, we don't really care. You people just choose to make your miserable choices the public's business for some reason. Not a single one of the things you've done is justified or even remotely sensible. Get some help.
WNBA, quote unquote, not
being profitable isn't an excuse for the players to not ask for the salaries that they deserve.
I'd like to offer a quick counterpoint of, yeah, it is. Like, this isn't even a failure to teach economics. Like, this is a failure to learn basic math and basic arithmetic. Like, this is a failure of simple addition and subtraction. Because by the fact that the WNBA is not profitable, what that means is there is no money to pay them more. Like, the money itself doesn't exist. And look, I recognize that sports leagues take 20 to 30 years to become profitable. And there's a very good chance that in the future, the WNBA will become profitable. I mean, the NBA took 31 years to turn a profit. The NFL took like 20 something. But during that time, those players had way less pay and most of them had second jobs. Only women would think that they don't have to endure that like everybody else did. I mean, these ladies are literally demanding more pay from a league that loses money.
I actually agree with her. Pay them what they actually deserve. They'd be owing the organization millions.
I'm a trans teacher, and yes, I am teaching your kids pronouns in school, but this is because they don't know the difference between there, and there.
Trump supporting teacher here, you're not teaching pronouns, buddy, you're teaching homophone. Words that sound the same that have a different spelling and a different meaning. You're getting the concepts you teach children confused, and you wonder why Trump wants to eliminate the Department of Education. Let me break this down for you because I don't think your coach went through this with you when they gave you coaching feedback as someone getting their PhD in special education. So, homophones, your example was there, and there. I'm going to use the example of buy. Written by, I buy something. Words that sound the same that have a different spelling and different meaning. Better yet, how about here, I hear something, versus here, come here. Or how about mail, because I'm a man, versus mail that I get from the US Postal Service. Not you getting the concepts you teach young children confused. Oh my God, make America great again. Honestly, be so for real.
Would you look at that? Even teachers are uneducated.
Hey, so Donald Trump is using the White House as a backdrop for a car advertisement for the richest man on earth.
Bro, I'm totally with you. The president of the United States should not be doing car what's that? Oh, that's just Joe Biden doing an advertisement and driving a $100,000 Jeep Rubicon around the South Lawn. But I mean, that's like wait, what's that? Oh, that's President Barack Obama doing an advertisement and driving a Chevy Volt around the South Lawn. It's almost like every president in recent times has done an advertisement to push an American car company and push EVs. Yeah, you know what? We'll pretend like that hasn't happened. Yeah, bro, just, context.
Liberals are the biggest hypocrites in the world.
Are not a creature or a victim of what happened 104 years ago.
You made some interesting points about the crime statistics in the African American community. You think crime and poverty are intrinsically linked?
Not always, but they could be directionally close to each other. For example, poor Asians are not necessarily more likely to commit crimes than a poor black person.
Okay. Do you think there's systematic functions in place that prevent African Americans from moving upward?
No, does not exist.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they've ever enforced any policies or any actions?
Maybe 40 or 50 years ago, but nothing in our lifetime, not even close.
I would say in our lifetime, right? Within our
That's a big deal,
our last
right?
20 decades, our last 2 decades, right? We've had a lot of opportunities for upper mobility, right?
And for whatever reason,
but at a systemic level, there's a history of prejudice within the American system against African Americans and black people.
But there's also historic systemic bias against Asian Americans. It hasn't held them back.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them.
No,
right?
but it's important to compare. Why is it that it held blacks back but not Asians?
Well, let me speak about Asians. As a model minority, right? They've had more opportunities for upper mobility.
How?
Well, in terms of getting business loans, setting up in different neighborhoods.
Well, there was a lot more anti-Asian discrimination in California than anti-black discrimination in the 40s and 50s.
So you agree 100% that African Americans have given the same opportunities?
No, I'm not. Look,
as far as redlining goes,
groups are sometimes treated poorly. Whether or not you're able to overcome that is the question. Number two.
So treated poorly doesn't cover it. I have a couple lines right here. We have the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, right?
Yeah,
where African Americans established they established a black Wall Street, right? And that was taken down. We have the Black Panthers in San Francisco. I'm saying there's a history. I'm trying to establish a link here.
But I think, again, that you're trained to do this in the college. It has no bearing on whether or not you can make good decisions or not.
Well,
right?
College has no impetus on my thinking. This is organic.
I know, but I reject the whole premise. Your own being, with your own agency, your own ability to make decisions of right or wrong.
And I agree to not subscribing to victim mentality and taking accountability for your actions.
I don't think any of that plays into your current status.
Are you glued to the victim card or something? Just let it go.
Parents of trans
trans-species kids, what are we doing about Donald Trump getting rid of the trans-species child tax credit?
Excuse me, getting rid of the what?
Because for the past 4 years since Biden got in office, I've been receiving $12,000 a year because...
Repeat that slowly. You've been receiving what?
My son identifies as a cat, and that's counted as a disability.
I don't think I can even reply to what you just said, not get a community violation.
So they sent me $1,000 a month to help with raising him and his transition and all that.
Excuse my ignorance. His transition to a cat?
But Donald Trump's getting rid of that. So what are we going to do? Because I've been using that to pay for my mortgage payment. Well, half of it, because my mortgage payment is $2,000. But what are we going to do?
Either I'm slow. Yeah, that sky is beautiful today. Or that's some crazy math you just did.
In this bind financially, because my son, since he identifies as a cat, the school doesn't really tolerate his cat-like behaviors.
$12,000 a year, so $1,000 a month to reward your bad parenting? Is that what's happening? Lady, looks like you're gonna have to get a job.
It was not a free and fair election when one of the world's largest social media platforms, X, was manipulated and used as an overwhelming source of lies and misinformation to support Trump. 2, when a monumental amount of untraceable dark money was funneled into this election, including to run ads that pretended to be from Kamala, but really were hyper-targeted and designed to drive Muslims, Jews, liberals, and Black Americans away from her. 3, when Republicans take an ungodly number of eligible voters off the voter rolls in state after state. 4, when Trump lied incessantly and was rarely checked by those that interviewed him. 5, when Russia and other bad actors specifically targeted this election to support Trump, and the social media companies have been prohibited and or inhibited from doing anything about it. 6, when oil and gas companies, crypto bros, and who knows who else were effectively bribed to support Trump. And 7, when many voters were intimidated from going to the ballot box for fear of violence. This was not a free and fair election. Donald Trump, the Republican Party, and the right-wing media ecosystem lied. They cheated, and they seemed to collude with foreign powers. And now the freaky narrative is that Democrats are the problem, as opposed to all of these tactics, which are certainly immoral, but should be absolutely illegal. It's absurd. Do you agree?
When Twitter was pro-Biden, this video was nowhere to be found. When Republicans were censored and banned from Twitter, no one was making dumb TikTok videos. Dark money? You mean 1/3 of Kamala's election funds? That's dark money, crypto bros. What about her Hollywood endorsements? No, I do not agree.
It's not immigrants. It's men. It's not immigrants. It's men. Now, some of the men might also be immigrants, but the root issue is men.
Okay, so get rid of the illegal men so you can zero in on the documented ones. It's not that hard.
And why is J.K. Rowling still alive? We should be focusing our efforts and our resources not on assassinating Trump, but instead on assassinating J.K. Rowling. That wench needs to die. She needs to burn on the stake and die. I condone murder. I condone it. I think that we need to hold our politicians accountable by murdering them. And I think we need to hold J.K. Rowling accountable by murdering her too. And I'm so very serious about this. I'm so passionately serious about this. I think that we should just all come together and murder everyone. I think, things would be better, we would just be so much happier in life if us as trans people just came together and murdered a bunch of people. I think that really would, solve all of our problems.
Do you know what's even more condonable? Self-defense. When the time comes for real-life situations, we'll see how these videos age. And somehow you want women's bathrooms?
MAGA women, Southern MAGA women, actually all MAGA women. You know how Thanksgiving has been a little bit uncomfortable? People don't want to come to your house, they don't want to hang out with you, they don't want to talk to you. And you are very proud of your domestic abilities, I know. You love to put on an event, a thing, and cook all this stuff, and it gives you an excuse to finally get out all the dishes that you never use and all of that. It's almost Christmas. You were sad at Thanksgiving. Your tree, all of your stuff, all your decorations, and again, getting out the dishes, the china, and all of that. I'm sure, I mean, I used to really like to decorate and entertain. I bet you guys love it even more. I bet you love Christmas. You love King Jesus, Christmas, yourself, and then other people are down here. They aren't gonna come to your house at Christmas time. You thought Thanksgiving was bad. Christmas is gonna be a wild ride for you. And I'm gonna cry one little tear for you, because you're gonna be sad because people won't come to your house. And when I talk to you, the Christmas cards, my God, the Christmas card, all those cards that you send out, you'll send them to everybody. You probably even put some effort, extra effort into the ones for the people that you know probably don't want to talk to you anymore. And your little ribbon of Christmas cards or your wall of cards or whatever, it's gonna be smaller this year. Anyway, but that's good. More money for you to go out and blow on.
Don't you mean that liberals no longer have anywhere to get a hot home-cooked meal and no one to celebrate with? I don't see the MAGA L anywhere.
Hi, I'm Steve Daines. My pronouns are Republican majority. I have a simple message for Chuck Schumer and for Bob Casey. It's over.
Everyone has just been having way too much fun at the wokies' expense.
Why I'm scared about Trump's presidency is like a knife in the heart every time. I was born here in the US. My kids were born here in the US. But both of us, my kids and myself, potentially our citizenship is up for question. My mother was born in South America. She was adopted here to the States when she was like 3. She's here legally. She was brought here. She's a naturalized citizen. Her paperwork is all in order and it has been for decades. My fiance was born in Ireland. He's a permanent resident. His paperwork's all in order. So when Trump says mass deportations day one and that he wants to denaturalize citizens, my mom could be sent back to a country that she has not known her entire life because her white adoptive family didn't think it was important to keep her connected with her culture, teach her her language. My mom doesn't know anything other than English and doesn't know anything other than the US. We're trying to reclaim it. Reconnecting with that is so hard. And my fiance's been here since he was 3 too. His whole life he spent here in the States. He has no connections with Ireland, but he could be sent back too. And if he and my mom, if their citizenship is now suddenly up for question, that puts myself and my kids on the chopping block as well. So I'm sitting here in my house looking around at everything and just wondering, am I going to have to make a new life in a new country?
I think you're confused. He is deporting illegal immigrants, not dumb people. I think, Kay, you're good. See how she threw a sly Jan at her mom's adoptive parents. All these people are so entitled and ungrateful.
Say, mega bitches, have you sold your daughter's autonomy into slavery? Yeah, you have. You sold them down the line for an extra price on broccoli and some extra gas. You have yourself to answer for.
You guys keep mentioning daughters. Do you mean the unborn children that they let live?
Ladies, we should all start harvesting belladonna and growing it in our gardens. 'Tis the season. I hear men really enjoy the after effects on the nervous system of belladonna tea for them.
So belladonna has the same effect as poison ivy, just another aspiring jailbird. But who are you guys going to feed it to? Your imaginary men?
Ask you very, very clearly, was Obama racist and xenophobic for deporting those people?
Racist and xenophobic.
We deported 3 million illegal immigrants.
Well, he was upholding the law, I guess.
So what's Trump doing then?
Well, he's doing it without upholding the law.
How is Trump deporting people different than what Obama did?
What the people have to do with anything? You know who needs to be deported? Everybody who's not a Native American. Okay?
All right, thank you.
You're a friend.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Then we should all go to Mars then. This ridiculous self-hate within woke liberals has got to go.
No, we're gonna make America great again, right?
We're being harassed over here, sir.
That's the 3rd time I've heard the buzzword today.
face.
Or on the curb.
And shouting things.
They weren't shouting. We've been
Yeah.
monitoring them, so they're not shouting. There's nothing wrong with their presence alone. As long as you guys aren't doing anything to intimidate and invoke fear into people or provoking argumentative comments.
Does tampon Tim count as like an inflammatory comment?
That cop should not be allowed to play poker.
Why can you not respect the existence of trans people?
If you mean lying, I won't lie. But every human being is made in the image of God, and so they deserve human rights.
It's lying to... I'm confused. What?
It is a lie to call somebody
that they prefer.
to call them a pronoun that is not rooted in reality. Let me ask you, can anyone become a woman?
It doesn't have anything to do with me, so yes.
Okay, look, if a biological man came next to you in your dormitory or locker room, would you be okay with that?
If they came next to me.
And started
yeah,
changing next to you.
Sure. What does that have to do with me?
A naked man comes next to you in the locker room and just starts saying, hey, how you doing? You have no issue with that.
If it was someone that identified as a woman and they weren't hostile towards me, no, I wouldn't mind.
Okay, so there is a mental delusion out there where people think that they are 12 years old. Should we affirm that?
No.
Okay, so then if we don't affirm that mental delusion, why should we affirm the mental delusion where men who think they are women or women who think they are men?
Because there's a power, like, problem with age.
And there's no power problem between men becoming women? Or going into locker rooms or winning female trophies or winning female sports?
There can be, but it's all about people being comfortable and being respectful.
You see, this is where we have a difference. So you look at the world through trying to accommodate the comfort of the oppressed. We look at the world through right and wrong, moral and immoral, and just and unjust. We don't care about making people comfortable. We care about what is right.
I think her gigantic sunglasses aren't letting her see reason.
This is what brain rot culture has done to the workforce.
She's the flight attendant who's twerking off to her dream job.
I didn't think that, being so happy can turn into something like this.
She posted the video on TikTok
Do that at home.
along with the caption, "What's wrong with a little twerk before work?" But after the video went viral, she says Alaska Airlines fired her. What did they say to you?
They just said that I broke their social media policy.
You don't go to work and start twerking there. There's occupations where you can do that, but you wouldn't be wearing what you're wearing. You wouldn't be wearing anything at all. Girl, you are in a professional work setting and you are supposed to be acting like it, but instead you took your goofy grown self on TV to play the victim and sit there patting your tears away because you don't understand why twerking on the job and posting it just got you fired. And what company doesn't have a policy when it comes to social media? What did you think was going to happen? There is a time and a place to twerk. In the club where we are all fam. But you might want to sit the club out for a few weeks, sis, because you...
What's wrong with being happy? When you guys get happy at work, do you start throwing it back on TikTok?
Should we tell them? Yeah, I think we should tell them. Okay, let's tell them. Here we go.
They will blame Israel somehow.
You already paid for half the date when you got your nails done, your hair done, and put all that expensive makeup on your face. Your payment was looking like a hot. He can pick up your apple.
I really, really hope that the women out there don't actually believe this. Really, really hope.
You're getting relationship advice from him. Is that a him?
If you voted for Trump, don't talk to me, don't look at me. Don't come near me. Don't come near my friends. If you're confused on why people are so angry and heartbroken and grieving, then you probably have no idea what's going on. First of all, because everything is going to be ruled by the Republicans now and they have a conservative court. We're looking at the ACA being repealed. That's the Affordable Care Act. Thanks, Obama. So for people like me who are on the Affordable Care Act, because they can't work a full-time job, they're not going to be able to afford or have access to health insurance. Okay, the only way that I can get health insurance is through the ACA. My plan as it is without the subsidy, $400. I pay about $50 for that right now. Because I'm self-employed, I will have no insurance when that is repealed. My medication costs $20,000 per dose. I currently get that through the drug company through a special little thing that only is available if you have health insurance. So please understand that people like me, people in my communities, are going to die.
You should have done the video in the dark then. I already looked. You said you can't work a full-time job and that you're self-employed. I'm curious as to what that employment is exactly, because self-employment is still a job, is it not? Entrepreneurs are self-employed. By self-employed, do you mean lazy?
So, this is for the people who are laughing at liberals right now, who think it is hilarious to see us devastated by the results of this election. I just want you to understand that the pain that you're seeing isn't about our candidate or our party losing. It's about America losing. It's about us losing our freedoms, our rule of law, our place in the world order, losing the moral high ground of a good and decent nation. We are upset because we know that the foundational pillars of American society, the ones we all count on, like liberty and justice and truth, are all going to be gone under this next administration. And it's possible we never get them back. And just to be clear, that's not just going to hurt us, it's going to hurt you. So when you're done being excited about owning the libs, there's going to come a time where you realize that voting for a criminal, surrounded by criminals, supported by self-serving oligarchs and calculated for adversaries was a bad idea. And as they dismantle our government and our healthcare and our social safety nets, as our national security and food sources are compromised, as our environment and justice system are abandoned, you're going to understand it wasn't just us woke losers who lost. It was you and your people and your friends and your children. So maybe just consider giving us just a tiny bit of grace as we come to terms with the horrible world you chose for us, and we try to find a way to help the people who are going to suffer most and figure out a way to fight back. And you're going to want that for us, because I know a fair amount of you are going to eventually come over to our way of thinking, because the incompetence and the corruption and the suffering are going to be so evident you won't be able to miss it. But we have to make sure that by then it's not too late and we can still work together to do something about this. So just understand that we're sad right now because we know we were telling you the truth, and we are just so heartbroken that you preferred the lies.
You seem confused. All these fears were confirmed in the current administration. Freedom, liberty, truth, everything was replaced with delusion, feelings, and cancel culture. So no, we are gonna keep owning the libs. That's another freedom you've tried to take away for the past 4 years.
I can't tell you this to your face without, spitting on you. Any of you that voted for him. But the kids are watching, man. I'm setting the example. They're watching us. You have proven that you are not the example. You're not about that life. You voted against people's rights. Sit down.
About what life exactly? These people are so foolishly narcissistic. Setting the example for what? Mental instability.
Hey, Trump supporter, let me ask you, are you happy now? You have control of the Supreme Court. Donald Trump's your new president. You now have the House of Representatives and the Senate, all branches of government under your control. Are you happy? Are you finally happy? You've been promising for the last 10 years you were going to take America back again, that you were going to rule America. Well, you've won. You've won it all. Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you dancing? Are you rejoicing? Does it make you feel good that about 90% of all the black folks here in the country feel like their civil rights are in danger? Does that make you happy? Does it make you happy that all gay and lesbian and trans people feel threatened by our government now? Are you happy? Are you happy that the same people, thousands, that built hanging gallows on the steps of the Capitol and shattered windows, killed people, are now back in the highest seats of government? That's what you want? Are you happy? We have a person that Donald Trump wants to appoint as the head of the Justice Department of the United States of America, who's been under investigation for having minors. Are you happy? That's what you wanted for the country. You have a Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, who's going to be the head of Obamacare and HHS and the CDC, that believes that vaccines and medicines that have saved millions of lives are wackadoodle and kooky. That's what you wanted? When you gather in your churches in the morning across the country and you sing about victory in Jesus, and you've made almost half of the other side of the country want to vomit when they think about coming into your churches and your place of worship and the denigration that they see of the Christ that has been done. You rejoice in that? That makes you happy? Yeah, be happy. Yeah, you won, be happy.
Old and young, male and female, blue or green, every kind has been chewed up by the woke mind virus. To answer your question, sir, yes, I do think they are happy. Right?
Yeah, Trende Arago gang members that are in the country illegally. That's a good thing that that's happening, thank God. Huh?
What articles? Can you cite them?
ICE arrests nearly 200 Trende Aragua members, prepares deportation flights to Venezuela. This was just a report that I pulled up from February 5th, but this is what being widely reported on. This is one of the most violent gangs in the world that Joe Biden and his open border Democrats imported to terrorize the United States, which is just really loving and amazing.
Yeah, you know it's also one of the most violent gangs in America? Proud Boys.
No, it's not.
Yes, they are.
No, it's not.
Yes, they are.
Not by a long shot, actually.
Not by a long shot. Okay, how about the KKK then? They're a gang.
Name me one murder the KKK has committed in the last 20 years.
Oh, honey.
No. Let her answer.
Oh, honey.
That's fine.
In the last 20 years?
Yeah,
in the last 20 years. One, I can't give you an example, but they have a hard...
The most violent gang in the U.S. You can't give one example of a murder over the last 20 years?
Lynchings, honey. Lynchings by lynching.
50 years ago? They're not a pertinent problem right now, right? We should be focused on
They're
people
not
who
a
are actively
pertinent problem
slaughtering
right
people
now?
in mass.
Oh my gosh, your brains are tiny.
I think you're overestimating how much of a threat those groups are. When it comes to the KKK, evil, bad people, I condemn them totally, but I'm not going to pretend like they're like terrorizing Americans everywhere. It's not a thing.
It's like, oh, these are the most violent groups. This is the most violent.
Trende Aragua is way more violent than the KKK.
American people. These are the examples that you're giving me. I'm giving you examples. I'm saying that Proud Boys are the largest gang in America. That KKK is the largest gang.
You're saying that Proud Boys are the largest gang in America?
Most violent. Excuse my language.
What is your basis for saying that, if you don't mind me asking?
I'll pull it up.
Some people just speak for the sake of making sounds. When a person start chanting honey, sweetheart, babes, and the others, they really have nothing to say.
Okay, right now I am waiting for an Uber outside because I just showed up to the house of the guy that I've been dating, and he had the Trump rally or something playing on the TV, and I was like, oh god, like why the f are you watching this? And he proceeds to tell me that he fully supports Trump, and we got into an argument, and he straight up said, women's rights, I do not care about women's rights, I care about my interest rates. And I said, just to clarify, you're saying that you care more about your interest rates than women's rights? He said, yeah, I don't give a f women's rights, it doesn't affect me. He has a daughter and an ex-wife. I said, what about me? What about my rights? What about your daughter's rights? He said, I don't give a f care about my interest rates. I said, okay, I'm leaving. I literally have an overnight bag. I was supposed to spend the night. I am now standing out in the cold waiting for an Uber because absolutely I am shaking. I have never experienced such a thing in my life. I am shocked to my core.
She's never experienced such a thing because such a thing has never happened. You were prepared to spend the night at a guy's house and you didn't know who he was voting for? That's impossible.
Hey, I have a question.
No, we're not answering
Why?
questions. Get
Why?
out of the car.
Why?
Because you're a Trump supporter.
I know, but don't you guys want our money?
No, actually we don't. Get out of my bar right now.
You're not welcome.
I'm not around. Get out of my bar.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Out.
Because I'm wearing a Trump
Yes.
vest. That's wild.
I don't care. Get out.
We can call the police, or you can just leave. You know this is like discrimination, right?
Oh, boo-hoo! Boo-hoo! Get out of my bar.
If this was the other way around, Sonny would be tearing up on The View.
Do women have rights in Gaza?
They should have rights in Gaza, and
do they?
I am saying that they should have rights in Gaza. Okay, so you sound like you are in favor of, you feel like women have more rights under the Israeli.
Absolutely, yeah, they do absolutely have more rights.
Okay, I think we've got a political disagreement here.
Do you agree that Israeli women have more rights than Gazan women?
I don't know that they necessarily do.
Again, like women can leave their houses in Israel without permission of a man.
I'm gonna end this conversation now.
Without lies, wokeness dies.
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean?
Appealing to people's more emotional levels, I would guess. I mean,
What do you mean by that?
certainly
Give me an
you tap very strong ideological language quite frequently.
Like what?
Left wing, this and that, right wing. I mean, it's that type of ideological thing.
I never really talk about left or right.
Anyways, a lot
I
of
don't
people
really believe in that.
Okay, a lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Like which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but
like who?
I don't know who, but
well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody.
Okay, I'm sure there's some out there, but anyways, the point of this question is, I mean, why should Canadians trust you with their vote, given not just the sort of ideological inclination in terms of taking the page out of Donald Trump's book, but
what are you
also
talking about? What page? What page? Can you give me a page? Give me the page. You keep saying
in terms of turning things quite dramatically in terms of Trudeau and the left wing and all of this. I mean, you make quite a it's quite a play that you make on it. So I'm
not sure. I don't know what your question is.
This is the most delicious apple I have never had the luxury of eating. I wish I was on that field when this was happening. The robot journalist couldn't even look him in the eye.
It's day 7 of the resistance. Here's what you can do today. If you're out and about and you see someone being yelled at and screamed at by a MAGA person, don't yell at them or fight with them. Just go simply stand in between them and the person that they're yelling at. Quiet protest.
I apologize for making you watch this complete waste of time. First, it was the days of girlhood, now we're counting the days of resistance? No MAGA is walking around looking for wokies to yell at. You guys are going through enough in your own minds.
Nazism, white supremacism, whatever, should be illegal. You want to oppress an entire group of people based on the color of their skin. Go to jail. Slap your mama.
Wait, why do you look like that? What's wrong with you?
Folks, you cannot make this up. Some Donald Trump voters are already regretting their votes, and it has not even been a week. Now they are finding themselves in panic mode as they begin to realize how disastrous Trump's policies will be for them. Businesses are already taking drastic measures to try to counteract Donald Trump's promised tariffs, slashing jobs in the United States, and this is just the beginning, folks, so pull up. And don't say we didn't warn you.
You can't make this up. Then he goes ahead to make it all up.
No, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. No, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. No, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. Why? Because I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. Why? Because I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. You know why.
More turkey, more mac and cheese, and more pies to go around for normal people. Enjoy your protests.
About the blue friendship bracelet, and if you know what it's about, you know what it's about, and I am certainly a fan of this trend that's going on. I'm going to take a little bit of a step further though, because I don't trust that people won't lie in order to try to convince us of where their stance is by doing.
If y'all don't stop playing with me while I'm trying to eat my breakfast, pretend to be a Democrat. We don't want to be you. Please don't confuse me with a Democrat, ever. I don't know any red-blooded Americans who are out there just floating around that blue bracelet so that we can lie about being you. Be so for real, right?
Don't stress that woman while she eats her breakfast. Trying to be you, I can assure you that people have been tossing their blues in the back of their closets since you guys went absolutely berserk.
To all the whole MAGA men who told me that I'm ugly and unattractive because I have chin hairs, you know what? I'm going to keep them there, and I'm not going to get rid of them just for you until 1, Trump is in handcuffs on his way to prison, or 2, we find out that Harris actually won this election. So, you guys can suck it.
So you're never shaving then? Well, shout out to body positivity. Your body, your choice.
Guys, I was doing so well, and then I just heard a clip of her. We f***ed up so bad. So bad. Oh my god.
I would see how long this mad streak is going to last.
All the things that make me mad about those other guys and all the things they do wrong, the one thing that I will not forgive them for is their try to steal the joy from this country.
Trump's iconic dance moves are sweeping the internet and winning him a lot of fans across the globe. And it seems like everyone wants to hop on the bandwagon.
And I'm sure you will find many ways to.
Whose joy was taken away again?
I'm sorry.
If you encounter liberals this week, remember not to look at them. They are very vulnerable right now. If you enjoyed this video, let us know by giving it a thumbs up and dropping a comment. If you're new here, you should subscribe. There is more to come. See you in the next video.